Here we go. I'm going to give you 8 reasons why real estate is clearly the best investment. Okay, you can spend your time doing a lot of different things. And I think that this really stops people from getting started in anything. And so truly my goal here is that if you're sitting there thinking about what you should do next, if you should start a business, if you should get involved in real estate, if you should go into the stock market, if you should go get a job, maybe do this, that, or the other thing, and you have cold feet, my goal is to help convince you that real estate is absolutely the best, A, and B is I don't give a damn what you start. Start something. Stop thinking about it. Stop strategizing. Just do something. But it should be real estate, and I'm about to tell you why. Okay, number 1. Oh, hey guys, already. Look at you. Okay, let me pull up my comments here. In case you had anything to say. What's up? Hex. All right, here we go. Number 1 is leverage. Hands down, the greatest reason for real estate over anything else. Leverage means that the bank will give you money to go buy a piece of property. Why will the bank give you money to buy the piece of property? Well, banks are the smartest money in the world, probably, right? You'd have to say. That's how they have so much of it. They will give you the money to buy real estate. You should need to ask no other questions. Bo knows. What's up, man? Sitting in the dentist office. Hope those teeth are all right, buddy. Okay, you should need to ask no other questions. A bank will give you the money to go buy the property because they're the smart money and they know it's a safe investment because no matter what happens, okay, there's still value in property. They're not making any more property. Except for maybe in Dubai, I think they're trying to bring in sand or whatever. But for the most part, land is the land. And then you build a structure on top of it that's going to pay the bills as you own the land. Okay, a bank knows that is valuable. Therefore, they will give you the money on it. And so you go buy a house. Let's say the house is $200,000. And the bank will give you, if it's a personal residence, like 95% of the purchase price. So you're putting $10,000 down on a $200,000 asset. Think about this, guys. All right, here we go. $200,000 house. The teeth. $200,000. I'm putting $10,000 down. Okay, now we take that same $10,000 and we're going to put it in the stock market, let's just say. In the stock market, I mean, people are going to argue about this, but let's just say that the stock market is awesome and it actually is 10% a year that appreciates. Versus a house, you might only get 3%, maybe, I think that statistically speaking, they say 6 or 7%. I didn't set this up right. So I'm just going to use a calculator here. And let's just do this for 5 years. $10,000 times 1.1. That's 10%. Well, that's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, so $16,000 is what that $10,000 is worth after 5 years. I would have liked to do this over 30 years, but I failed to pull it up on my computer where I could do a compound interest calculator. That's where you would do this. Okay, but here's the big thing about leverage, and this will make the point anyway. When you're doing the same calculation, even though it's only 3 to 6%, I think 6% is what they say is the historical average on real estate over the last 30 years, but let's just say it's on the low end, 3%. It's not 3% on the $10,000. It's 3% on the $200,000 asset. So I don't care how good they say stocks are. It doesn't matter because you get a way bigger asset. It's a way bigger asset that is appreciating. And so now the bank will give me the money to do it. And I just keep doing it. The bank will keep giving me money to do it. So now let's say I go buy 5 houses at $200,000. Now I have $1 million in assets that is appreciating every single year. Geez, How much better can that get? Because I have to keep saving up $10,000 to put into the stock market. All right, so number one is leverage. Number two is history. Guys, I'm a sissy, okay? That's why I chose real estate. I am scared to not have something at the end of the day. I never want to go back to zero. I never want to pick the wrong thing. I could pick the wrong stock. Of course, you could invest in the stock market and you're basically investing in, American business, or if you go U.S., which makes sense. All right, if I was going to invest in the stock market heavily, that's what I would do. I wouldn't try to pick an individual stock. I would pick the stock market, Okay, so you can be safer there. But here's what I think is, dude, like Mesopotamia, like ancient Mesopotamia, pre-Bible stuff. Archaeologists pull this up and they start digging and they find these clay tablets that are basically people trading land. So, thousands of years, people have been trading real estate. So it's worked then, it's working now, and there is nothing in the foreseeable future that says it's not going to work, because land is scarce, not making any more of it, and they put houses on it. And last time I checked, people are going to need houses to live in. So it is the safest bet. Like, if I have to choose how I'm going to spend my days and what skills I'm going to learn, how I'm going to put in this effort every day, well, why wouldn't I choose something that I know the carpet can't get taken out from under me? So think AI right now. A lot of people are freaking out. What if my job's not going to be around? Well, real estate is still going to be around. Robots are not taking the real estate away from me. So it's the sure thing. Carpet pull is not going to happen. Been around for thousands of years, going to be around for thousands of years. I couldn't even think about what could possibly be different. Is Elon going to take us to Mars? They're going to need houses on Mars, guys. They're going to sell the land on Mars. And so better learn it now. That's what I say. Universality is not a word, most likely, but we're going to use it as if it were a word. And what I mean by that is that I think I kind of already hit it with the history. I put those two together. But it is that everybody needs a place to live, and they're always going to need a place to live, okay? And it's just the sure thing. I'm not going to hit on that too much harder because I just hit it. Number 4 is the control. Once again, I'm going back to, guys, I'm a total sissy. And that's why I chose the life that I chose, is because it is, just imagine you have your money invested in Amazon, and you're thinking, gosh, I really need to I need Amazon to pull a hat trick here so I can up the game before the end of this year. So you give Jeff Bezos a call and, ask him to make some changes. Not going to happen. That's a joke. Okay, but let's say that the house that I'm getting ready to sell is having some issues. I can literally go over there with my own 2 hands and solve the problem. The neighborhood is not so good. That's out of my control. I don't think so. Dude, I can pay somebody to go mow the neighbor's grass, and I can probably convince the neighbor to let me pay somebody to mow their grass. Or I could convince them to let me clean up their yard a little bit for free. I've had to do that before. You got like the blue tarp kind of house next door, and that somebody's going to be driving up to your house. They're going to see that first, and they're going to think, oh, this sucks. I don't want to own a house in this neighborhood. Go to the neighbor's house and say, hey, not only will I pay people to clean this crap out for you and clean up your yard and make it look a little bit nicer, I'll actually pay you money to let me do that. Okay, that is control. You actually control the value of that house in so many different ways. And that, guys, I have messed up so many times in my career. And especially early on when I didn't know, what I know now. Not saying I know everything, but definitely had, 17 years of experience now. So hopefully I can see around quite a few corners. Early on, I could not. And what saved me almost every time is that I was just willing to go make the changes myself, do whatever it took to make the changes. You control the house, control of the actual asset. Now, of course, in business, if you decide to invest your time in your business instead, let's say you start a home services company or whatever, same kind of thing. You obviously have a lot of control there. There is market stuff that is a little bit out of your control, but it's a totally fair argument there. And so the problem here is you go back to something like that is an investment that can absolutely go to zero. Okay, that's why I start with, what's up, Steel Bangin'? How you doing, man? Or girl, I don't know, just the control is what we were just talking about. You can control a business, you can control real estate. I choose real estate because it is a true asset that I know I'm not going back to zero on. I know it's not going to zero. Okay, scale. So this is a big one here. You guys, I know that there are some hyperscalers in the group, and you want to pick the type of business that can make you a billionaire or whatever, 100 millionaire. And so there are arguments there where business is faster. All right, stocks, no, unless you got a lot of money, or you're going to start a business of like being a fund or something like that. But so you have business versus real estate here. Business moves at lightning speed in comparison to real estate. Real estate does not happen overnight. It takes a lot of moves for quite some time and in a lot of consistency. But you're building the sure thing. Whereas business, you could start something and within months you're making serious money. So a lot of times it's good to do these things in conjunction, but that's not what this video is about. But true scale, okay, this is the story that I like to tell, is all the skills that let me get a house. I go, as you guys probably know, I send mail. I get a seller, somebody who owns a house. They want to sell their house. They want to sell their house to a person like me. I go work that deal. And, there are, of course, skills that come with making a sale on somebody's house, especially in a one meeting close. To be able to buy somebody's house, that's great. And truly that's like why one of the big reasons I got in real estate in the first place is I was in the fitness industry. What's up, Keyshawn? I was in the fitness industry, and the fitness industry is mostly a sales job. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm getting pretty good at this kind of stuff. So what's like the biggest thing that everybody needs that I could learn to sell? Houses. Hey, here we are. Okay, but the same skills that helped me buy houses in a one meeting situation put me in the scenario where I was talking to an owner of 45 houses, or 45 doors to be technical speaking here. Some were duplexes and such. But anyway, never met this guy face to face. Got the phone number, got the introduction, talked to him for less than 30 minutes. And by the end of that phone call, I had under contract a 45 door deal for $2 million. Maybe it was like 2 point something high. It was like 2.7, let's say. Close on this thing maybe a month later. And this is right afterwards. The appraiser came in. So to be able to close the thing, we had to get the appraiser in, and the thing appraised for right around $5 million. Okay, that's, you guys can do the math. A very large chunk of equity went into my pocket the second that I closed the house. That is scale, okay? Same skills that I used to buy a $200,000 house that's worth, let's say, $240 the day I buy it, and then after I fix it up, it's worth, $350, $400. Same skills. I go in and buy this thing that is just under $3 million. It appraises for $5 million. You do the math. That's scale. I don't know what else is scale in comparison to that. Okay, so number 6 is taxes. Here's who wrote the tax code. His property owners. Okay. And when they wrote that tax code, do you think they did or did not make it advantageous for those who owned properties? Obviously they did. Okay. There is the phantom write-off, which is depreciation, which I'm sure that you know about. The property over 27 and a half years depreciates to zero. So we have, if it's a $200,000 house, basically what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, X amount of this, low amount, 20%, 30%, whatever your CPA is comfortable with, they are going to take that out. So let's say it's $200,000 property, and let's say 70% of it is building value, the other 30% is land value. And now over 27 and a half years, so that number, that was 140 divided by 27 and a half years, $5,000 I'm going to be able to count as a tax write-off every year against that rental property. Okay, just to be clear on the taxes, not so good when it comes to flipping houses. It's basically like owning an active business, and you're going to have to do things with the expenses. You're going to have to be smart about where the expenses go. That's where like the OPCO and all that kind of stuff comes into play. But for holding real estate long term, I get this phantom deduction. You know, no money actually came out of my pocket. So I could, technically speaking, I could be making a profit of $5,000 in the year on this single property, you know, cash flow from my rentals. And I would still be able to say, hey, IRS, I didn't make a dime off of this. And even better, since it's a long-term hold, I'm going to be paying less on taxes than I would for an active business. Okay, great deal. 2-in-1 skills. Okay, it's tough to decide. Do I want to, you know, start some sort of business and then I could invest my money on the side, you know, or do I want to focus on my job and then invest my money on the side? So I could, you know, any different combination. I could have my job and then I could buy rental real estate on the side, or I could have, you know, a business and I could invest in stocks on the side. But this is why real estate has always been so great, because the same thing that you do for your day job could also be your long-term job. So I buy a flip. Obviously, I want to get a deal on that flip. And then I have contractors who I have to go recruit and hire and manage to go make the place nicer. And then I go sell it. Okay, well, the only difference if I'm going to hold it long-term is that instead of selling it to the market through a real estate agent, which is my wife, who her office is right outside of there. She owns a brokerage, so she does the selling for us. But anyway, hand it off to her. But instead of handing it off to her, I hand it off over this way, which is the building across the street, which is our property management company. And they put a tenant in it. And then I call a bank and I'm like, hey, will you give me a refinance on this, a cash out refinance? And that's the way it works. Not actually a bank, a DSCR lender is what I usually use, but they give you fixed rate long-term mortgages. Same moves, pretty much all the same moves. Still got to find a deal. I still have to recruit and manage the contractors to get it to a nice condition. And then I decide, do I want to sell it to the market or sell it to the bank? Easy enough, right? All the same contacts, all the same skill sets. So I can focus on just getting damn good at this thing and having all the relationship capital with all of these different vendors. And the same thing that makes me money today will also continue to make me money for, you know, hopefully my whole life. And, you know, the way that works is today you might be flipping a lot, and that's how you're making your grocery money. But then eventually you're able to also then buy long-term rental real estate and refinance it instead of flip it. And then ultimately that rental income starts to become your grocery money. Awesome, right? And you know, the whole passive income thing, guys, oh gosh, everybody talks about passive income and they talk about how awesome real estate is for it. Bullshit. Oh, I'm not supposed to cuss on here, but it's not passive. There's nothing that's passive. Guys, you're going to have to work your ass off to grow a business. You're going to have so many pains, and you're going to get through them because you want something better for yourself. But it's not passive, guys. It's just one trade-off for another. I can't lie to you. Owning rental properties is awesome on paper. It never works out like it's supposed to on paper. And either does my mechanical, electrical, plumbing company. Okay. MEP companies, they say, home services, it's like the darling of all the private equity companies because there's such an opportunity for it. And it's like easy. You start a company tomorrow and like people will be calling. No, they don't. Like you got to figure out how to run ads. You got to figure out how to get your name out there. You got to get people in there doing these things. Property management company, dude, it's like the best. You just like get these properties under contract and then you talk to the tenants and it's super easy. No, it's not, And real estate brokerage, like realtors' jobs are easy, right? Doesn't seem like it from where I'm standing. My wife lets me know about it sometimes, guys. Okay, so what I'm saying is passive is a lie. I don't know a thing that's passive because that's the thing I would be doing instead. What about content? Like personal brands and stuff. That's everybody's got to have a personal brand. Do you know how much time it takes? And for 3 years, none of you knew who I was because it was embarrassing to watch the types of videos that I was putting out there. Hell, it might still be. But the point is, guys, there is no easy road here. You just got to pick one and go with it. And what I'm telling you today is why I think real estate is hands down the best, especially number 7, the 2-in-1 skills. Pretty awesome that I can invest my time in the same skills that will serve me today and also till the end of time. Number 8 is freedom. Okay, that is far and away the most important thing to me. Not only like just because it makes me happy to not have to answer to somebody, but it also is, I think my main job, I know this one, my main job in the world is to raise kids. And I'm about to have number 4, guys. Yep. And what I want them to see is parents who were making it on their own and they didn't have to answer to anybody. And they, come hell or high water, they made it on their own. And that's just what I think is most important for my kids to see, that they don't need to answer to somebody. They don't need to be shackled. They don't need to be living in the prison that a lot of people might live in. Okay. And real estate gives you that because, guys, if I go buy a house today and the person got mad at me about it, or I went and sold a house and the person got mad at me about it, they're not leaving me a review. How many of you own a business and that's all you think about is, oh God, I have to be nice to this person that I totally want to tell to shove it, but I have to be nice because they might go give me a bad review. That's a terrible prison to live in. And I know it because, I do have active companies out there and you really have to be watching out for those things. I'm not saying to be a bag, to be somebody that people don't want to do business with. But I mean, there are some crazy folks out there where you're like, come on, this is not reasonable. And you got to be nice to them. Okay, so there is no review process that you have to be worried about. If something bad happens on one, you just go to the next one. Yeah, sure, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes things go wrong on construction projects, and sometimes I have to go in there and fix things in a way that I don't want to. But it's mine, It's about as free as you can get. And so those are the 8 reasons. Guys, I do want to go back to this whole thing that just pick one and go with it though. I hope it's real estate. I think it's the best way. I think that I couldn't sit here and do the content, which, I have big plans for what we're going to do here. I would not have the ability to go do that had I not invested in real estate and worked my butt off there and went through the pains. Because now, yes, I can manage projects. I can keep that part of my business going as I go focus on other things, but that takes time. But it is the sure thing. It's the whole Mario idea. and this is the one that drove me all the time, is that when you're playing the game of Mario and you get past a certain level, you die in the game, and then you just go back to that level. You don't go back to the beginning of the game. You go back to the level that you're on. And that's what real estate is to me. You go buy a house, and then you get a next one, and something bad happens, you just go back to the one before, and then you focus on the next. It'd have to be a really bad situation where you got it all taken away from you. But even if you did, you still have the skills. And remember, these are skills that are not getting taken away by AI. Everybody's going to need property. It's been working for thousands of years. It's going to continue to work for thousands of years. So you have the skills. So take it all away, guys. Just go get more because you know how to do it. That's why I love real estate. Hey, guys, hit me in the comments. Anybody got anything today? It's 4 o'clock here in Chattanooga. Maybe this is a better time. We'll see. I'm going to give it a second because Andrew told me last time that he tried to put a comment in and it didn't come through until after I had gotten off of here. So apparently there's some kind of delay. So I'm going to sit here and just look in this camera, maybe say weird things as I'm waiting to see if any of you have any questions. Does anybody? Real estate is awesome. I love it. It set me up for things that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Anybody? Any questions? Wonder if Bose knows his teeth's doing all right. Sitting in the dentist office right now. Oh, there we go. Nice, Cody. Anybody else got any? Bring them because there might be a delay on here. He says, starting the house flipping business, one flip going. Best advice, motivation. Motivation. Well, for one, awesome, Cody. Thanks for taking steps. Here's the thing. A lot of people are paralyzed by, trying to learn everything before they go do it. There is like a certain base of knowledge that you need to get, which I imagine you do. Well, you're here, so you must have gotten something, I'm hoping. And the thing is, you will learn 100 times more on one flip that you would for 100 years of sitting and trying to learn everything from videos and books. It's just you start to pick up this intuition just almost immediately. Your second flip will be so much better than your first. And I mean, the first like 5 or 10 that you do, you will just exponential. Your skills will just, and your intuition will just, they will advance so much in those first ones. And then of course there's a point of diminishing returns, but awesome after that, because that means you have the skills. So listen, stuff is going to happen, Cody, on the first one, no doubt about it. And it is going to be painful. And, you're going to have to face things that you probably couldn't have imagined before, but there's always a way out. I guarantee you there's always a way out. Otherwise, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. There's always a way to solve the problems that will absolutely be put in front of your face. And I know that you're in the community, and when they come up, hit us all with it, and we'll help guide you through it. That's all there is to it. Best step you could take, man. I just did a whole live stream on the 8 reasons why real estate is awesome. Of course it wasn't going to be a cakewalk. So glad you're here, man. Yes, I've been in real estate for 10 years. My man. I'm a broker like your wife. Nice. Nice, dude. The OpCo. Yeah, great. You got great experience. You'll probably be better off than the pitch that I just gave. It's just, for some people, it's a brand new thing. I know when I bought my first house, it was a brand new thing. I thought I prepared. I sure as hell didn't prepare enough. But, what are you going to do? Wouldn't change the way I got in. That's awesome, man. Let's see. Anybody else out there? Anything? Well, I appreciate you guys. This has been fun. Things are really ramping up in the community. It's very exciting. Let's keep it going. Have a good day.